Hey guys, it's Pam Plays Games. Welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. And we're picking up where we left off in the Temple of Mythal. Of course, because this is the game, because this is Arnon and he's an elf and everything, he is going to respect the rituals and do all this stuff. Mosaic of Andruil. Andruil, who one day grew tired of hunting mortal men and beasts, began stalking the Forgotten Ones, wicked things that thrive in the abyss.
What's this?
I believe we are in the presence of the elven goddess Andruil, Lady of the Hunt. 'Tis said the Dalish invoke her before a chase, especially if they happen to be stalking humans.
My clan avoided human settlements, never mind raiding them.
A sound tactic, if one has room to maneuver out of harm's way. Other Dalish clans do not keep so scrupulously hidden.
Yeah, well, I just like how she talks about the Dalish like she knows more about them than someone who actually is Dalish right here, standing in front of her. So, I think this is the one that's the most complicated, so of course I'm going to do it first. Yeah. And I almost always manage to mess it up at least once. So we'll see how this goes. But the basic deal with all of these is you have to step on the tiles only once. And if you step on them more than once, the whole thing resets and you have to start over again. That just opened up a gate to put me back here. And there's also these, like, where the yellow tiles are safe. And you can stand on those or use them as part of your path without running into too much trouble. Now this is the part where I always seem to mess up. So let me see if I can do this. Now if I go here, let me see. I'm going to pull the gate again, but then I need to go doot, 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 and that'll open that. So yeah, I'll be okay if I start from there. Love these birds everywhere. They're just so cool. Fortunately, your companions do not trigger the gate or the tiles, so sometimes they follow you and sometimes they don't. Either way. I was going to say something about the...
Indeed. Time to proceed to the next ritual, I should think.
Something about the interesting concept of the dread wolf Fenrirel being in Mythal's temple, but yeah, I wonder why that would be. So strange. Again, we're looking at even more hints of things to come. Now, I'm not sure. This must be Andruil again, since we already got her. I never realized how high up these tiles went. Look at that. Oh no, that's the dread wolf. Yeah, you can see the teeth, the fangs. Interesting. Alright, so we'll go down here now. And also these statues. Now, aside from the wings and the heads being weird, the armor looks familiar, doesn't it? Especially, like, this knee armor is very typical for a lot of the armor that you see in the Dragon Age games, like with the star shape, sort of. I think about Aveline most of all. Another one I can't get any information on. Okay, and this is the one that was down here. This one's fairly simple. Oh, hush. I just don't like to run through them because inevitably I will go further than I meant to or do something, and it's just easier to take these kind of one or two at a time. Also, I just love seeing, like, even the fallen architecture. Like all of these bricks that make this diagonal pattern in the wall. It's just so cool.
The ritual is complete.
We are close. There is but one more path to follow.
I really wish I could have seen what this was like at its peak. Also, where do these go? You know, I wonder if these gates rise and, you know, maybe they took boats to get around. Wouldn't that be really neat? Just this whole temple. Like, I just want to see so much. I want to see what, you know, this place was like at its peak. Elven architecture, undisturbed, you know, still fresh and newly made. Because we've already seen that there are still defenders of this temple. People who still live here and worship. Because we were fighting them before. Now I can finally come back and get this loot. So yeah, it's been an interesting month for me. As I talked about a lot in the last video with my arm, the car accident and all that stuff. And I finally have I borrowed my brother's minivan for a couple days, but boy, that thing is just a beast to wield, and I don't really like driving it. It's just not very comfortable. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. Is that, okay, that just goes back there. And I was not happy about it, but I've kind of been following his guidance on some of this, and then finally he talked to our family lawyer and was like, let's just, you know, file an insurance claim, which is what I feel like should have been done to begin with. June. June is the god of crafts and building, but the oldest depictions have none of the tools the Dalish associate with him. So I called State Farm, who, by the way, are really good. I can't say enough about them. Got the file claimed in minutes. You know, they had everything set up, and I had a rental car reserved and all this stuff, and so I got that on Friday. Yeah, it was Friday. And it's a nice little Hyundai sedan, and it is really, really easy. It's so much easier to drive than my brother's minivan. It's also much lower than I'm used to, because the Matrix I always just felt like I was stepping into it and that was it. But this one is a bit more low to the ground. But the problem is, I can drive, but the arm is still weak. Like, so I had this arm, you know, not in a cast, but in this really, you know, wrapped up dressing for 2 weeks. And even after they changed it, it was still, you know, like the day they took the sutures out, the sutures hurt coming out, but the real problem was the fact that I hadn't used the muscles at all in 2 weeks. So getting all that working again has been a real nightmare, let me just say. That's been the part that's hurt. Well, like, obviously it hurt when it was broken, and oh my god, the worst, before I did the surgery, aside from like when they had to do the x-ray.
Everything is lit.
It wants to say something, but I can't hear it.
Come, let us see if the doors have opened.
Cassandra disapproves. Ironbolt disapproves. I know, you guys, but I'm an elf. I have to do this the elf way. The elf way. Before they actually did the surgery, it was just in this like wrap basically, and if I moved or jostled it at all, I could actually feel the bones moving. Oh my god. Why can't I get this stupid thing? Why did they do that to me? Come on. But there's so much cool stuff around here that I just want to look at real quick. Like, why is there water up here? And there's something back here as well. More Vir'abelasan. Again, just would have been so cool to see all this, like, in its prime. But the interesting thing, too, is that it doesn't seem like that much has been disturbed, you know? This is... I'd love to know where this door goes. But all these tiles are still in place, basically, so it's not... What the fuck? was that noise? I did not like that. No, sir. Anyway. So, just the pain of the muscles as they sort of, you know, come back to life has been impressive. And I was having trouble. I thought it would be like okay using a mouse, but even that, like the little motor motions of my fingers is very difficult. I still can't quite feel some stuff with my thumbs because my they're still swelling. Song to Fallandine.
Who is this meant to be?
Fallandine,
You'd think I would know
overseer
that.
of funerals and guide to the elven dead. I have heard the Dalish invoke him on their deathbed, or before quests from which they expect no return.
My clan's hunters asked for his blessing when we fought bandits. Our keeper taught them the prayers.
How different from the one sung here, I wonder.
Okay. But yeah, so I'm still getting some of that motion back, and mostly at this point it's about getting the strength in my arm and my hand back.
'Tis not what I expected. What was this chamber used for?
Audiences, I bet.
We're being watched.
We're not alone. Oh, hello, Abel.
Vir'abelasan. You are unlike the other invaders. You have the features of those who call themselves Elven. You bear the mark of magic, which is familiar. How has this come to pass? What is your connection to those who first disturbed our slumber?
They are my enemies, as well as yours.
I am called Vir'abelasan. We are sentinels, tasked with standing against those who trespass on sacred ground. We wake only to
This
fight,
size.
to preserve this place. Our numbers diminish with each invasion. I know what you seek. Like all who have come before you, you wish to drink from the Vir'abelasan.
The place
No.
of the Way of Sorrows. He speaks of the well.
It is not for you. It is not for any of you.
So you're elves from ancient times? Before the Tevinter Imperium destroyed Arlathan?
The Shemlen did not destroy Arlathan. We Elven warred upon ourselves. By the time the doors to this sanctuary closed, our time was over.
Wait, that's not right. What are you saying?
You would not know truth. Shemlen history is as short as the pool of your years.
What did the Imperium do then? Are you saying it wasn't a war?
The war of carrion feasting upon a corpse, yes. We awaken only when called, and each time find the world more foreign than before. It is meaningless. We endure. The Vir'abelasan must be preserved.
What is this Vir'abelasan exactly?
It is a path, one walked only by those who toiled in Mithal's favor.
He speaks of priests, perhaps.
More than that, you need not know.
Our people have lost everything. They need you. They could learn from you.
Our people? The ones we see in the forest, shadows wearing Valisleen. You are not my people. And you have invaded our sanctum as readily as the Shemlen.
We knew this place was sacred. We've respected it as best we could.
I believe you. Trespassers you are, but you have followed rites of petition. You have shown respect to Mithal. If these others are enemies of yours, we will aid you in destroying them. When this is done, you shall be permitted to depart. And never return.
I'll admit the idea of fighting the last of their kind does not thrill me.
Consider carefully. You must stop Corypheus, yes, but you may also need the well for your own.
I refuse.
Oh no,
As you
no!
wish.
No!
Our duty is clear. The Vir'abelasan shall not
I didn't mean
be
to do that,
usurped,
no!
even if I must destroy it. Masal
I was
Dinan.
just looking. God damn it!
No!
I'm gonna go back and replay because there's no way. No, I'm sorry. Hang on a second. Escape. And we're back. Okay, so I went through that again, and yes,
I
we're
accept
going to
your
ally.
offer.
You will be guided to those you seek. As for the Vir'abelasan, it shall not be despoiled, even if I must destroy it myself.
No!
It's not really that surprising that she would go take off like that, but
He said the elves destroyed themselves before my countrymen came along. Could that be true? I can hardly believe it.
This would be our guide.
Mytholanast.
That's helpful, since Morrigan chased off on her own.
She's worried about this well, not Corypheus.
yeah,
She turned into a bird.
she does that. So we're gonna get basically the back way and avoid all the fighting. Yeah, I'm just that's part of the problem that I'm having is that my fingers are not necessarily quite obeying. Like I've been catching one of the side buttons on this. Yeah, see,
This
there's all
place
that
looks
fighting going on.
untouched.
The entire temple must have looked like this long ago. How could the elves pour such devotion into this nonsense?
Nonsense! Come on, Cassandra. You can loot all this stuff. I don't always, but there is some nice stuff here. Statue of Mythal, huh? Your guide gets mad if you just take too long. But there's all these mosaics that you can get the codexes for. There's Elgranon. And Dirthamen over here. Gillinane, which is of course the Hala, and which is the Velasleen that Arnon wears. Also, you noticed Abelas had the Velasleen of Mythal, which makes sense. They're all in Mythal's temple, so it kind of figures. And we've got more.
Henshra. Gilas Velathan.
Yeah, I'm
She
coming.
wants us to stay close.
Just a quick look around.
I just want to see it all. I know I'm a tourist basically at this point, but yeah, we're not. There's more fighting behind that door. There's Solace. You would never know that those were doors without this guide. But yeah, my fingers are a little bit twitchy, and so everything's getting there, but it's not perfect yet, which is one of the reasons I was worried about recording, but it's not really a big deal. I mean, obviously I was able to just go and restore from a save that had just happened. There's just so much to see. And so much gold to pick up, even though I don't need it.
Vir Sumiel.
I'm coming. The way of something. More fighting through those doors. I've never actually... I mean, maybe someday I'll play a character who's a complete heretic and is happy to, you know, just barge through this place and be horrible, but I just kind of like being able to avoid all the fighting. More of these statues of Mythal. See, he's actually responding to the fighting there, even though we're not engaging in it. And I assume that this means that, you know, they're allowing us into this chamber because there's stuff we might need. Who knows? Enhanced spell to focus, that's always nice. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to do 3 episodes after all because my hand is starting to hurt already. And I've basically got myself set up with a cushion propping up my arm. These guys defend the temple, but if they don't want us in, there's not a lot we can do about that. Okay. But yeah, we're almost at the end now. Pure red lyrium. I'm just going to carry around. La la la, no big deal. I'm going to have Cole take a potion because I know there's going to be another supply cache up here. Somewhere.
The Well of Sorrows.
It's loud and so cold.
Andraste, guide us.
How has such magic lasted?
It's all the way up there. You see that mirror? That's it. And there's Samson down there, so we need to get at him.
Fight on! An army of these bastards won't stop us! How will you get to the well, General?
Here we go. Yeah, seeing this is really horrible. That's also interesting, because the elves here are bald. And you know they're ancient.
March, hours of fighting, and still fierce as dragons. The Chantry never knew what it was throwing away.
Samson, sir, watch out!
Inquisitor. You and those elf things don't know when to stop. You've hunted us half across Thedas. I should have guessed you'd follow us into this hole.
I spoke with your Tranquil, Maddox. He sacrificed himself for your cause.
I told him not to. He died as one of us then. One of the faithful. Corypheus chose me twice. First as his general, now as the vessel for the Well of Sorrows. You know what's inside the well? Wisdom. The kind of wisdom that can scour a world. I give it to Corypheus, that he can walk into the Fade without your precious anchor.
What's your part in it? What's a vessel?
What else empties a well? I'll carry its power to Corypheus. One more task entrusted to me. Being force-fed Chantry lyrium was good for something. This armor makes me a living fortress, mind and body. I won't forget a word of the well's knowledge. Corypheus will be unstoppable.
Once Corypheus is that powerful, you and your soldiers will just slow him down.
You dare say that to my face? After you butchered my men? You're no match for Corypheus. Even if you drink from the well, you'll never master its wisdom as he could. This is the strength the Chantry tried to bind. But it's a new world now, with a new god.
And I have a room for that.
Inquisitor, how will this go?
Power's all well and good, until it's taken away.
What did you do? What did you do? The armor. It's gone. The lyrium. I need it. Kill them all!
old bounty to save you now. You think you'll win?
I can't.
Come on then.
Oh, god damn it.
Get around them.
Who died? Cole, where are you? Cole, where are you? Where are you, Cole? I can't see him. Where is he? Why am I...
Can't run.
I can't... What the hell's going on? Why can't I get him? Where is he? Oh, there he is. Still a pretty goddamn tough fight.
Pay for that.
There we go.
Well, French. You can't take it from Corypheus. You mustn't.
What
He's
the what?
still breathing.
We can take him back to Skyhold for judgment.
I'm certain of it.
You heard
Damn,
his
this
parting
episode's gonna
words,
go over too.
Inquisitor. The elf seeks to destroy the Well of Sorrows.
So the sanctum is despoiled at last.
You would have destroyed the well yourself, given the chance.
To keep it from your grasping fingers. Better it be lost than bestowed upon the undeserving.
Fool. You'd let your people's legacy rot in the shadows.
Corypheus needed Samson to use the well. Without him, there's no vessel to claim it.
The moment we leave, he will send more forces to secure this place. The well clearly offers power, Inquisitor. If that power can be turned against Corypheus, can you afford not to use it?
Do you even know what you ask? As each servant of Mythal reached the end of their years, they would pass their knowledge on through this. All that we were, all that we knew, it would be lost forever.
Look around you. Everything your people were, it's already gone.
It is.
Why remain? Why perform a duty without purpose?
You have shown respect to Mythal, and there is a righteousness in you I cannot deny. Is that your desire? To partake of the Vir'abelasan as best you can? To fight your enemy?
Not without your permission.
One does not obtain permission. One obtains the right. The Vir'abelasan may be too much for a mortal to comprehend. Brave it if you must. But know you this. You shall be bound forever to the will of Mythal.
Bound to a goddess who no longer exists, if she ever did.
Bound as we are bound. The choice is yours.
Is it possible this Mythal might still exist?
Anything is possible.
Elven legend states that Mythal was tricked by Fen-Harel and banished to the Beyond.
Elven legend is wrong. The Dread Wolf had nothing to do with her murder.
Murder? I said nothing of...
She was slain, if a god truly can be. Betrayed by those who destroyed this temple. Yet the Vir'abelasan remains. As do we. That is something.
Are you leaving the temple?
Our duty ends. Why remain?
The Imperium went to great lengths to expunge Elven history. You might be the last to know the truth.
Would the elves of your lands listen to the truth?
They might. Would it hurt to try?
It very well may, Shemlin. Yes. It may be that only Uthenera awaits us. The blissful sleep of eternity never to awaken, if fate is kind.
Thank you for this gift, Abelas.
Do not thank me yet, Shemlin.
He called me a Shemlin? Really? Well, I guess...
You'll note
Shemlin
the
basically means
intact
quick one.
Illuvian. I was correct on that count, at least.
Is it still a threat? Can Corypheus use it to travel the Fade?
You recall when I took you through my Illuvian, I said each required a key? The well is the key. Take its power, and Mythal's last Illuvian will be no more use to Corypheus than glass. I did not expect the well to feel so... hungry.
Let's not be reckless. I don't want anyone hurt.
I am willing to pay the price the well demands. I am also the best suited to use its knowledge in your service.
I do not like this. She is far too eager.
I do not hide it. To restore lost knowledge, I would risk much.
And what would you do with it? You could be worse than Corypheus.
So, paralyze yourself for fear of what might be? I can give nothing but my word. Of those present, I alone have the training to make use of this. Let me drink, Inquisitor.
You're not concerned about the price. Bound forever to the will of Mythal.
Bound to the will of a dead god? It seems an empty warning. Perhaps a compulsion yet remains. Who can say otherwise? I do not fear it, even so.
Are you sure you want this, Morrigan? We don't know what will happen.
We do not, and yet it must be done. I am ready.
It's yours.
I knew his bull was going to disapprove. Solus disapproves as well, I'm sure. When I'm playing a mage character, I'm okay doing this, but Arnon does not. Vivian greatly disapproves. Yeah, there's a shock.
Morrigan? Are you all right?
Elasin Salah. Visan Allah. I am intact. There is much to sift through. But now we can...
A scream of rage? That was more like, ooh.
The Illuvian!
Through the mirror.
I don't know why I'm glowing. That would have been bad. Oh, I just realized this episode's running late, but I also have some footage to trim out, so it should be okay.
It is done.
I'm pleased to report we won the battle, Inquisitor. When you went through that mirror, Corypheus and his archdemon fled the field. I'm not sure why.
What he wanted was no longer within the temple.
Perhaps. He spent so long trying to get into the temple, he probably couldn't have helped his forces by that point.
Then Corypheus is finished. If he is wise, he will hide and rebuild his strength before he attacks again.
He will not hide.
You sound pretty certain when you say that.
The Well of Sorrows held many voices, and they speak to me now from across the ages. They hold wisdom. Secrets I never dreamed possible. But even they fear what Corypheus has become.
Should we fear him more than his army?
Possibly. Luckily for you, he has a weakness. The dragon he calls is not truly an archdemon. It is a dragon in which Corypheus has infested part of his being. He doubtless did so out of pride to emulate the gods of old. That pride can be exploited. Kill the dragon, and his ability to leap into other bodies is disrupted. He can be slain.
Just kill his dragon? Why didn't we think of that before?
There is a way to defeat the dragon, to match Corypheus in his power. The well whispers it to me now. Your help will be required, Inquisitor. Speak to me when you are ready, and we shall begin.
I'll see to Skyhold's defenses in the meantime.
Sounds so simple. Alright, well, this is where we're going to leave this episode because it has gone on for far too long. And I still have a lot to do, obviously, including bringing Samson to Skyhold for Judgment. But for now, we're going to leave this right here so that I can go back in next time and get my my War Table stuff out of the way. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like or comment or maybe even subscribing. It really means the world to me. And hopefully I will get to see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye.